That Zed Podcast. Zed Podcast.
Action! And my mic just won't hold.
It's flaccid, right?
It's flaccid. There we go. It holds now. Well, there we go. So, once again, did I mention that? No, I didn't mention. So, we can start from there. This episode is actually brought to you by the Hilton Hotel. And it's on Cairo Road.
Cairo.
And
beautiful facilities.
I think I judged it too quickly. Prematurely. This is the first time I've been to this hotel.
Right.
And every time I pass by, I always think, is there any activity happening up there? Mm-hmm. Why is it in town center with all this traffic? Do people actually come there?
Until you came in.
Until I came in.
All right.
Yeah. And here we are. That did not sound right coming from you.
Until you came in. Only your mind, my brother. Only your mind.
Yo. Anywho. So yes, we are at the Hilton Hotel. So we'll be running a competition in conjunction with the Hilton Hotel where one lucky winner will actually win a night for two. That's a Valentine's special. Mm-hmm. So look out for the competition running. We should give an announcement properly at the end of this episode. So do look out for that. Hilton Hotel, you could be here on Valentine's Day enjoying a great night out with dinner and breakfast for two on Valentine's Day.
The person who's the nicest to me will most likely win this.
It's hard being nice to you, Elson, considering we'll be talking about the comments on this episode.
Oh, man.
And how people... The comments first. You know, we'll come to episodes where we spoke about... I think the first time you came on, people misconstrued the kind of person that you are. Misunderstood you completely.
Right.
But we'll come to that a little later.
Yeah.
My name is K+, and you are...
Elson.
That Zed Podcast. Zed Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. We talk to Zambian movers and shakers, the change makers, the achievers. We also discuss interesting topics. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, That Zed Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Listen to That Zed Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Anchor. That Zed Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. Hosted by K+.
It's K+, baby.
So, questions have been, coming through left, right, and center almost every day about That Zed Podcast. Where did these two guys come from? They seem to have come from nowhere.
Yeah.
I remember Simon Mwelane calling me about 3 weeks ago and saying, you guys came from nowhere and you're making noise.
Right.
Where are you from? Well, we did not come from nowhere. And that's what this show is about. We'll be reviewing episodes. We've done the 12 episodes before this. And also explaining where we have come from as K+ and Elson. Mm-hmm. To give a lowdown of where first I come from.
So actually, some people thought we were planted.
Planted by who?
I don't know. Conspiracies? You haven't heard that conspiracy yet?
No?
No? Yeah, I don't know that we were strategically placed here to disrupt.
By who?
I have no idea. I think the people who came up with that theory did not think it through.
It's interesting. So when these two calls started coming through, like, where did you guys come from? You seem to have come from nowhere. And you sort of have taken over the podcast space in Zambia.
Yeah.
Well, if I could give you just a brief background of where I come from. I'm a Kitwe guy. The most entertaining city in Zambia. Yes, we had... I don't know if you've heard of Jerabos before.
Of course. Who hasn't?
Who hasn't heard about Jerabos?
Yeah.
I come from that city that I think is the most entertaining city in Zambia, Kitwe.
And money.
There was.
Like money is
there
made.
Was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was. I'll give you a timeline. Kitwe between 2006 and 2011 was a major hive of activity. And because there was so much money, so much drama was going on because a certain group of people called the Jerabos sort of held on to had most of this money because of the, should I say, mining deals, mining contracts that they would have.
So were they, where did they get the power from? Were they politically connected? Is that what it was?
That too. Plus their modus operandi. They operated in... You had an issue.
You had an issue.
Dude, we had experiences where if you were taking a walk in your neighborhood with a girl, she's pretty, and these Jerabos drive by.
It's a wrap for you and your girl.
Dude, if you're lucky and don't get beaten up, sometimes you actually get paid and they take your girlfriend away. Sometimes.
So what are you saying about the girls that you've dated? They were not as pretty.
I've had experiences before.
With?
I dated pretty girls, yeah.
So did you get kicked?
Almost. Dude, I've got a story from Kitwe. Almost. I've had 2 experiences with Jerabos in Kitwe. One, I was actually accused of being after some Jerabos' girlfriend.
Oh, man.
This is like one of the days where I start DJing, and I'm DJing at a party in Parklands. There's an area called Parklands in Kitwe. So I'm DJing at this party, and it's packed. You know, it's guys, girls, youths, having a good time. And there are a lot of girls at this party. And as the party is running, like a Mitsubishi Canter truck rams into the gate, and the gate was just like semi-closed. The truck rams into the gate, opens it wide, and there's like 20, 25 guys in the back with iron bars. And the truck parks in the driveway, and as the guys are jumping out, I turn down the volume. And what do I hear the guys screaming? Well, they screamed a few expletives that I can't,
At you?
At just a crowd.
Right.
Screaming, who the dude is K+? Like, shit. You know what I mean?
Right. So these guys didn't know what you looked like, I'm guessing.
They didn't know what it looked like. This is like me coming up in the game, like the DJing game.
Yeah.
So they don't know what I look like. And they all jump out of the truck and they're asking, who the flip is K+?
Right.
I hear my name, and one snitch points
at you.
So apparently, as a party was going on, when a DJing, people are coming to the DJ's table, right? One of the girls kept coming back to my DJ's table to make requests. So this was misconstrued by one of the guys as this guy's after my boss's girlfriend. And he calls the Jerabos and says, K+ is doing damage here. So they come in a truck of about 20, 25 guys with iron rods and, whatever weapons they had. And I turned down the music at this point. They jump out of the truck. And the snitch, of course, points at me. I think that's the guy who even called him. I wouldn't know. So he points at me. And he starts coming towards me. Dude.
Did you shoot your pants?
I almost shit my pants. But in that very moment, I think if I didn't make a record on how high I jumped to grab the wall, jumped over it.
Are you serious?
Some of them jumped over the wall. Some of them went through the gate. And they started chasing me down some road in Parklands. Dude, I was Usain Bolt that day.
And who the fuck was playing the music when you left?
No one. Here's the thing. So I ran so fast. I was Usain Bolt that day. Ran so fast down the road. And I hide in some block of flats called Lubambe Center. I hide there for a while. DJ Tony, some other guy I used to DJ with, calls me up and he says, dude, they're gone. You can come back now. But your equipment, though. So I dashed back to the party. Dude, I found... You know what sawdust is?
Shit.
Yeah. The wooden speakers were smashed so bad. It was that bad.
How expensive was the equipment?
Listen to the story. It doesn't end there. The DJing deck was smashed so bad. Speakers were smashed. Some of them almost to sawdust. And I couldn't use this equipment anymore. So one of the guys who was there was identified. And I called his older brother the following day. And I make a complaint. Like, dude, this is what happened.
Who did you make a complaint to?
The older brother.
Okay.
Yeah, who was like one of the...
When you said I made a complaint, it kind of sounds like you went to the
police. No, that wouldn't work then. Yeah. It wouldn't work. So I made a complaint to his older brother, and the older brother says, okay, let's link up at the filling station the following day, but some popular filling station in Kitwe. We'll link up there. He asked me what the value of the equipment was. So he goes, beats up the young brother, or so I hear. I'm not sure what happened behind the scene, but... Yeah, so the following day, he calls me up and he says, I've got your money. I gave him the value of the equipment. So the following day, he calls me up and he says, I've got your money. And he gave me like everything the equipment was worth.
Damn.
Yeah, but that's Kitwe for you. That's
the kind of violence was the older brother a Jerabo as well?
Yeah, very much. He was actually one of the bosses, but I won't mention the name here. I'll mention his name in some other story later on.
Damn.
Yeah, but...
You talk about 9 freaking lives.
Yeah, it wasn't all doom and gloom with the Jerabos.
Right.
We had good times as well. These guys had money to burn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a time I was doing late night radio, playing slow music on radio, having a good time, playing Lionel Richie, Tony Braxton songs, Whitney Houston, and the phone rings, and a call comes through. It's like close to midnight, and the voice on the phone says, "You a K+? Shoni mboshore chana shwa masana. Ubika pona no call Lionel Richie." Like for those who don't understand Bemba, he says the music you're playing is so nice. Play a Lionel Richie song for me, which I do. So he's so happy. A minute later, like after the song, he calls again, makes another request, and I play the song because he's introduced himself at this point. Newa Youngson. And Youngson was like the biggest of them all at this time. So I shake a bit.
So did you know who he was when he was calling?
At first when he called, I just thought, people making requests. Then when he called again, introduces himself, and he tells me to play 2 more songs, which I do. So I play the songs, he calls back and it says, this time mention my name on radio. And I do. Oh, Youngson, listening with his workers, working at midnight, wherever they're working and stuff. So the following morning, he comes through. And they come through to the reception. You know how those guys would, dress vest, all pumped up, buff and all. They come to the reception and the receptionist is shaking like, okay, what the hell has K Plus done now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So she comes and calls.
So this was after the
request at night, yeah.
I mean like the gig where they almost...
Yeah, exactly. So now we know each other. Like I know a lot of Jerbos at this point.
Yeah.
And so after that request night, these guys come through, like 15 of them to the radio station by the reception.
Right.
The receptionist is shaken. So she comes to the studio. I was doing mid-morning that day, I think. I can't remember exactly. She says, dude, what the F have you done? There's a whole crew of Jerbos by the reception. So I come out and they say, our boss said, come on, like our boss wants to see you downstairs. So I go downstairs and he's so happy, like, dude, what you did last night, mentioning my name on radio, that was so impressive. And he opens the glove compartment. This is like 2008, 9?
Right.
He opens the glove compartment. And I liked how they never used to count what money they would share with people around.
They'll just grab.
Dude, he's talking to me and he grabs a bunch.
Like a handful.
A handful of money. Like a whole wad of, I think, what was it then? 50,000 kwacha notes.
Right.
And it just says, buy yourself some water. You know what I mean? Dude, stashed the money in my pocket, ran up the stairs to the toilet. Yeah, dude, straight to the toilet. Counted the money. And this is before rebasing. So it was like almost 7-8 million kwacha then. But you could do a lot with that money.
And how much were you earning?
That's a very interesting question. I was getting about... Martin, what was our salary first year of radio?
Oh,
I was getting like 600 kwacha. He was my workmate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were you on radio as well?
Yeah, he was on radio.
You two guys have got faces for radio.
Are you saying we're ugly?
Uh-huh.
But you would fit in very well, though.
Where?
On radio.
That I'm made for TV.
Yeah, so I think I was getting about 600 kwacha then. This is like 2007. And then I have 6 million kwacha.
God
yeah.
Damn.
For playing 2 Lionel Richie songs.
You know what you should have done with that 6-7 million? You should have looked for that chick that you almost got your kicked over and should have smashed her. For that reason. Out of spite. I'd have done that.
I should have.
Me.
But that's the city I grew up in. So I grew up in Kitwe. I did 3 years of radio on YRFM where I had a lot of Jerabo experiences, good and bad.
Yeah.
I did 3 years at YRFM as radio presenter as well. Mm-hmm. And I did 2 years at Beats FM in Solwezi as station manager. So for people who've been saying you've come out from nowhere, that's a bit of my history.
Why radio though? I love radio.
Yeah.
But why radio?
Why not radio?
I don't know. Well, you're entertaining, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Not as funny now, but I guess you have to have the personality to keep people engaged.
Yeah, true. And I think at that point in my life, I had so much...
The only job that you qualified for.
That too. That too. It's the only job I qualified for, but then it was on purpose.
What was on purpose? Not qualifying for it?
Yeah.
Not qualifying for it was on purpose?
Yeah, it was on purpose.
How?
I don't think school is meant for me. Not the other way around. Not that I'm not meant for school, but school's not meant for me. It's not for everyone.
Wait, so at what point did you drop out?
I did 1 year of university.
Also, you finished high school? Hey, listen, I can't assume... I can't assume shit. I need to know what I'm dealing with here. Because the next time we go for a meeting, you're not saying...
But I've been saying the most shit at meetings.
And you've been saying the most
shit. I think we mistake a lot of the qualifications we get for education.
Right.
Yeah. When you look at, I think I spoke about this in that interview I did on the Zed Corner, where I think we mistake our qualifications for that being the only form of education that you can get.
Right.
Yeah. If you look at the breakdown of the word education, that comes from what? A Latin word, educo, which means enlightenment, right?
Look at you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you look at the fundamentals of education, I read a lot. So by my own judgment, I'm educated.
Yeah.
Because I can enter any boardroom and talk business with anyone.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Listen, I was just making fun of you. I've been lucky enough to employ a couple of people.
Yeah.
Through my career, and I'll tell you this, that the last thing that I look at is a person's qualifications.
I do the same.
I don't give a shit about that.
I do the same. Yeah.
It's I wanna speak with you, right?
Yeah.
I need to have a feel of who you are. I need because you know they say you are hired for your qualification but fired for your attitude.
Period.
So if your attitude is messed up, That's exactly why the hell you're not going to make it.
It's how I employ as well.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I cut the story
Pause
short.
that.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the Hilton, we have got Chef. Is it? Yeah, you coming now? Yeah, you might as well. Is it this mic?
I've kept
Martin?
myself hungry the whole afternoon. for
Martin!
this.
All right, cool. So, we have got. I've starved myself as well.
Yeah, I kept myself hungry for particularly this reason. Where's the food? So the Hilton Hotel is actually feeding us as well this afternoon.
Yeah, they've also
Beautiful
given
stuff.
us complimentary rooms,
Yeah.
which is dope. We have. Say again.
We're giving away those rooms though.
No, for you and I. Those are separate
Right.
to what we're giving away.
Yeah.
Not for you and I, like in the same room.
I know what you
Don't
mean.
get
also.
excited.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
Why would I get excited to share a room with you?
Can you please remove your laptop?
No, he's only coming on when the food comes. So, yeah.
Oh, no, that's fine. Apologies for that.
Yeah, only when the food comes. So he explains what's going on.
Yeah.
I want to talk about my duck, the duck I ordered. So yeah, we're talking about qualifications, and you haven't said anything about yourself. Where did Elson come from?
I could not get a word in.
We're talking about me first. So where did Elson come
Man, where to start? I have got the personality of a dead frog. That's how boring I am. I'm as charming as a box of cereal. I'm sort of the opposite of you.
from? Yeah.
So I did IT in South Africa.
Okay.
In fact, actually, let me go back. Before that, I actually played cricket in high school.
Boring. Yeah. Anyway,
What you say?
I was saying boring cricket.
Yeah, well, you got me laid. So I played cricket, and I was actually meant to go professional. But what I decided to do was get education. So I did a bachelor's degree in IT at the Belgium campus. Shout out to Jan. And so my plan was to get my degree and then go and play cricket professionally.
Right.
So right after I was done with my degree, funny story, I'll tell you this. I was done with school on a Friday, right? So then I move and I
is
go
high
to
school?
No, university.
Oh, right.
The shit that you dropped out of.
Yeah.
I was done with that on a Friday, and I moved out of campus and I went to my uncle's place, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
On the Sunday, I go jogging,
Yeah.
and on my way back from jogging, the food is here.
Yeah, you can still tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. The duck is
I
the
was
most expensive thing on the menu.
And I was telling
Yeah.
him that, do you know how hard it is to catch a duck?
But so a village chicken is hard to catch as well. So
No, but they're used to that.
what, used to being chased?
Yeah. It's a game to them. A duck? Fam. You know how many people had to lose their teeth after they fell to catch a duck? And you think they'll sell you that for like 20 kwacha?
This duck looked like it went to a private school.
It was a very happy duck.
This duck was probably delivered to the hotel in a Range Rover, wrapped in Louis Vuitton paper bags. This duck probably spoke French.
It looks like it was a very happy duck.
It looks like it was a very educated duck. This duck probably had a PhD in tasting good.
I think this would be the iris of ducks.
Yeah. Have you seen me licking my lips right now? This duck. Levels, baby. So, Chef, what's going on here?
Okay.
What's special about this
Introduce
duck?
yourself, Chef, by the way.
Okay, my name, I'm Chef Mluleki. I grew up in South Africa, and then I went to Johannesburg when I was very young, around 16.
Right.
And then basically I grew up in Johannesburg. And then when
Which
I was
part of
there,
Joburg?
Joburg Central.
Not Hillbrow.
I've been to
Because I don't think you would have been here if you grew up in Hillbrow.
Actually, I stayed in Hillbrow for
Are you serious?
for 10 years. Yeah.
Yarr.
And then I moved to CBD, and then from CBD, and then I bought a house in Soweto.
You bought a house.
Yeah,
Levels,
so
baby.
I stayed there for 5 years before I went to Durban.
Right.
So I went back to Durban
Yeah.
because my home is actually in Durban. So I decided to join Hilton, Durban, and then from there, before I come here in Zambia.
Right. Okay, so how long have you been here?
I came here in 2019, 2
Okay.
years and a half now.
Right.
Yeah,
Awesome. Great.
yeah.
So why did you decide to get into this?
So this kind of a dish.
It was to
because
impress women, wasn't it?
you know, I wanted something that it's fine, sort of like a fine dining. I know it's not our culture as SGI to introduce these kind of dishes, but I realize that in our market, people are tired of eating junk food, burgers, all those kind of food.
Yeah.
We wanted something nice, something tasty, something up class.
Yeah.
Because this kind of a dish, it's got French infusion.
Nice.
Right.
What Kalenga's having, you mean?
This duck, it's French cuisine.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So it takes 3 hours to cook this duck.
Wow.
It's confit, it's cooked in oil, in its own oil. And then basically it's a slow cooking process that we do in this duck. That's why it's so expensive. It's got carrot puree. Also, to make these kind of purees, it's not very easy because it takes a lot of technique to maintain that kind of a paste. Some chefs, they call it puree, but when you look at it, it's a soup.
Right.
So you need to maintain a certain texture.
Right.
I will say. So it comes with pan-seared duck breast.
Right.
With macerated prunes, of which prunes has got a little bit of cognac kind of a flavor in it. Basically, it's got liqueur in it.
So am I going to get drunk?
No, you won't get drunk
Is there any
because
alcohol in my food?
there is alcohol in this one because over there is no alcohol
Perfect,
in
because
it.
I don't drink.
Yeah.
Would you want to pass that to me?
Okay. This one, it's pork belly, crispy pork belly.
Yes.
It has Asian influence.
I like Asians.
Yeah, so basically it's a Japanese kind of a dish.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
I'm
very
grateful
nice.
There is starch. I was about to say there's no starch in this.
There is a starch over there. There is potato confit and crispy onion.
Pretty good.
Yeah. It has crispy onion.
So how long does one have to wait from the time that I order this?
Your mic, bro.
Sorry, is this better?
Basically, these dishes, they take 20 minutes because duck, we always pre-cook the duck.
Oh, right.
Because it takes
The
very
3
long
hours,
time.
right.
It's like oxtail.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of dishes that are slow cooking process.
Yeah.
And they take very long time.
Okay.
But if you order this dish, it takes less than
20 minutes to come
minutes,
to your table.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Chef, thanks a lot for coming through.
Thank you so much.
I
The food is amazing so far.
The only regrets I have today is
Yes.
not reading up on the language that food critics have, because I think
Yeah.
I would have given a very comprehensive, explanation of what I'm enjoying right now.
Okay.
Taste buds are dancing all over the place right now. I'm salivating like I've never done before.
Because basically,
It's duck though.
duck confit, it's sort of like salty kind of a taste that you are getting there. And prunes, it neutralizes the saltiness that is coming from duck confit. That's why it's got a sweety kind of a flavor that you are getting there.
And why is this called pork belly? Is it found in the belly?
Yeah, of course.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh shit! I thought I was being. I
comes
thought I
from
was
there.
being crazy. Oh, interesting. You want to wipe your face, my man?
Okay.
Exactly.
No, the other side. Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Good? Okay.
Great. No, thanks a lot.
Chef, thanks a lot for coming. Thanks a lot for the food,
Guys,
man.
thank you for
No,
invitation.
just hold it close.
Thank you so much for invitation.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chief.
Have a nice day.
All right.
Okay.
Who's the most famous person to order this meal before me?
But how would he know this?
Now he would know. They've got big names that come through.
Zonzibini, Miss Universe was here last year.
She ordered this.
Yeah,
Levels, baby.
yeah.
I could tell from just where it was sitting on the menu. I could
Right.
tell this is like royalty.
We
kind of
have
meal.
another expensive dish in the menu. Pan-seared salmon. It's almost 700 kwacha.
Kind of sounds like you're cursing at me there.
Yeah.
The Pensy who?
Pan-seared salmon, Scottish salmon.
So let me ask you a different question. So if I come with a girl here and I want to impress the girl,
Yeah.
what dishes do you recommend that I order?
Obviously, duck confit, pan-seared salmon,
Uh huh.
pork belly. those are the dishes that are
Impress
most,
a girl.
Yeah, most hit.
I'll go home broke,
Yeah.
bruh.
Chef, thanks a lot for
Eating in
coming
my-
through.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
I am
All right.
enjoying the duck confit. The tea is silent.
Okay.
And I was ordering it as duck confit. The tea is silent. Comfy.
Confidence.
Comfy. That's too. Yeah, so anyway, so talking about that Zed podcast, so basically that's where we come from. That's where Elson comes from. He
I
did
didn't
his
say where I
IT.
come from, though.
You've done you were talking about your cricket.
Oh, where was it? Right. So I'm done jogging, and on my way back home, I stopped by Spa
Yeah.
to get bread. So I get into the Spa, and there's a very short Indian lady. She's trying to reach for cat food. So I help her because I'm a
Yeah.
little taller than her, right? So I get the food and I give it to her. I get my bread. As I get to the till, she's in front of me. So she says, as a gesture, you can go in front of me and you can pay because you got bread only. So I said, no, that's cool. Thank you. We struck up a conversation. She asked me what I did. I told her. She says, funny story is, we're actually looking for an intern to do software engineering. So come
Wow.
through. Yeah. So come through. So she gives me an address, doesn't write the name of the company. I get back home. I tell my uncle, and he says, I know where Bramfontein is. I'll take you in the morning.
Yeah.
Remember, we don't know where we're going, right? We only
Yeah.
have an address. So we get there. And this place is like Fort Knox, right? So there's 1,000 meter
Layers of
wall,
security.
and yeah. And so we get there, and I ask the guard, hey, listen, is this address to this place? He says yes. Come to find out, long story short, it's the British Council.
Damn.
I get in, we have a conversation, and I get a job on the spot. So I started working for the British Council for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And while I was in the system, I get a call randomly from some guy in Belgium.
Yeah.
And he wants to hire me. So he says, listen, I will do your visa. I will buy you a ticket. And I'm like, I'm about to get raped. You don't know me. Why are you getting me a ticket to Belgium?
Yeah.
But they did. They turned out to be genuine. I flew to Brussels and I went to Hasselt. I got the job. Your phone is right there.
Where?
Right there. Yeah, so anyway, long story short, I was there for quite a bit. So basically it was software development.
Yeah.
I moved from that to business development. Came back to Zambia. What do you want? The food.
Well, Switch wants to have a taste of this. Switch, I'm shocked you actually want some of this when you're a Shima lover. So I hope in Sokanda shapa pesa nai. Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what my background has been. So even coming back into Zambia, it has been mainly fintech.
Yeah.
A bit of software development for financial services and banks, etc. Some of the work that I did was for MTN, and I became really close with the current MD for fintech, who is Komba. And with the partnership that we have with MTN, your name then came up,
Yeah.
right? So he says to me, I've got a couple of people that I think you might want to meet. So he gave me 3 names, and you're one of those names. So I called you because we're meant to be in a partnership.
Yeah.
Because the work that I'm doing is in the province that you work in.
Yeah.
And that's basically how essentially you and I met, which was late last year, right? At the food market.
Beginning of November, yeah. Food market,
That's late last
Pamosi
year.
Hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we met. I know a lot of people think I've known Elson for the longest time. You are one of the most persistent mofos I've ever met in my life. I started the podcast with episode 1, David Stoney. We're actually coming to that in a bit. Episode 1 with David Stoney. You saw that and you said you had to be on the podcast. I was reluctant. I was very reluctant.
Before that,
Yeah.
the only reason, because our partnership had nothing to do with podcasting, right?
Yeah.
And my hands were full because of the work that I've been doing, that I still do now. But I've had a passion for podcasting. And I remember the first meeting that we had in Magin
Yeah.
Bean. We spoke about my work and we spoke about podcasting, right?
Yeah.
And because I have listened to millions of podcasts, you know, when you work, especially when you code or when you work out, you need something to listen to.
Yeah.
And so I had a knack of how I would have wanted podcasts or radio to sound, because a lot of this stuff was sounding so mundane. And that's basically how we vibed. We bounced ideas off each other, and the rest, as they say,
Is history. So I've known Elson basically, 2 months now. So
yeah, kind of.
kind of 2 months, yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of the podcast now, we start dissecting every episode we've done the past 12 episodes. So the episode 1 and how it came up. I think I was like on a Monday or Tuesday. I wake up that day and I think, you know what, this is the thing I want to do. I was in some store at East Park Mall, saw some microphones, saw some equipment, had a bit of change, and bought the equipment. And I think I even posted it, saying, you know what, I usually do that when I have an idea in my head. You know, I was like, I've got the equipment, I'm starting a podcast tomorrow. So I called Coin, who advised me, pick up Abigail, have Lloyd do the video, have Abigail put things together for you. And on Wednesday, I called Davis Tony. I think that was like in the morning. We need to call Davis Tony as well. Davis was actually our lab rat because we thought, you know what, let's try episode 1, see how we feel about it. If it doesn't work, let's pack up and leave. We're never doing this podcasting again. So we recorded episode 1, posted it. We got some good reviews. And some of the comments we got, and if you watched episode 1 with David Stoney, I was sweating like pork on a spit, man. I was so nervous because I had never done podcasting before. I've done radio before, but never with a camera on. So because of that, I was sweating like pork on a spit. I was so nervous as hell. Yeah, so some of the comments we got from episode 1, somebody, this is Muchemwa Robert Sichona, who said, finally got to watch it. Believe it or not, I've never heard of Davis, Marco, or Tony, so I'm intrigued by what I have learned about him. I will probably have to follow your podcast very closely so that I can be in the know. Seems like an awesome guy. I will look out for his work and probably use his services soon. Good show, mate. Yoli Spice said, never heard of this guy, but great to learn and join in on his bandwagon. Went through his socials, phenomenal work, so articulate.
How did you choose that guy? Sorry about that. How did I
choose that guy? I didn't want to bring out the very, very big guns first. He's got good following on social media, but he's never done an interview before. That was the other thing I was looking for. Somebody's never done an interview before. Somebody's going to give us information that's never been out in the public. He actually said he was reluctant at first. Said no at first, but he thought, you know what, K+, you're my guy from day one. One of the reasons I'm in Lusaka, I moved from Kitwe, was because of you.
Right.
He says, I'll do this for you and I'll come through. So Davis Stoney actually came through, one of the top photographers. He's a top photographer in Zambia right now, guy.
Yeah.
He came through.
That's dope.
And we did episode 1, the pilot. He was my lab rat, and we did that thing, and I felt good after it. Sweated a lot through the episode, but I felt good. It's actually the shortest episode we've ever had. 30 minutes.
Couldn't wait to leave, huh?
I couldn't wait to leave. Like, dude, am I doing this thing right? And a lot of people are telling me, dude, you're cutting your interviewee a little too much. Coming from a radio background, any silence on radio, you can get charged for it. So anytime he was silent or I thought he was going to be silent, I cut him short.
It's called dead air, right?
Dead air, yes. So I'd cut him short, and apparently it's not what I should be doing on a podcast. Let the guest speak more than you.
Of course.
I was nervous as hell, and I apologize to the people who are upset about that. Episode 2 was TiVo, Main Major, and TK. We're talking about why Zambian artists are not making the money they deserve. And that one sparked a bit of controversy because KB, remember the KB issue?
Yeah.
KB refused to come to the interview after I mentioned TiVo was going to be there. So it raised a bit
I've got a lot to say about that whole KB, the Iris thing, but go ahead.
Yeah, so KB hears that I'm going to be doing a show with him, and then TiVo's going to be there. TiVo had just tweeted something that the population thought was targeted at KB, so he refused to come on. But anyway.
What was that, the matrimony song?
The matrimony issue, which we spoke about in the last episode with KB. Yeah. But some of the comments that came through here with Tiki says, I've been with you guys since the Davis Tony interview. A big shout out to the whole team making this possible. This is great and so insightful. I think it would be fair to bring these guys on another episode, and like next time they should be more organized, and it was more like everyone had more than enough to speak out. Much love to K+, TiVo, and TK Main Major. Thanks a lot here with Tiki. Ntapechela Kalengo also commented, TiVo was right, Zambian producers need to clear samples as opposed to ripping off. Luhanga Herbert commented as well. Somebody said K+ did not reveal the contents of the conversation between KB and himself. That's Ricardo Mumba. That's a message from Mazua Mwelwa. Alright, so I think we started gaining traction from that episode. And then episode 3 was the one with Mutale, which just blew things out of proportion because in the promo she spoke about circumcision. Yeah, remember that one, yeah? Yeah. So, dude, that promo made a lot of... that promo
it's still the highest watched right now, right?
It's still the highest watched. I think it's at 49,000 views today. I mean, in Zambia, where you're not talking about music, it's not a music video. For you to get to 49,000 views, it's a huge milestone, man. Yeah. So it's a major milestone. So, you know what? Let's give her a call and just find out how she thought about that episode.
Absolutely.
She did not hesitate to come through on that episode.
Yeah. How did you meet Ntale?
We were in primary school together. Well, I was in the same intake with her older sister. She was like a grade behind us.
All right.
Yeah, so we've known each other that long. It's almost a lifetime of
Okay.
knowing each other. And we're workmates at some point. So we're schoolmates. She was a grade behind.
Were you her type?
Let me drink that to that first.
Yeah, that's okay.
Was I her type?
Yes.
I don't know.
Is she
I
your
wouldn't
type? Was she your type then? Because you're married now. So I'll rephrase.
All right, she's got in line. Should be doing her recording as well. But anyway. Yeah, so that was episode 3.
Yeah.
That episode got us numbers because of the promo, man.
Yeah.
The promo just blew things out of proportion. The whole circumcision thing. It was exciting. It was an exciting episode. It gave us numbers and it cost it shed more light on our podcast.
Yeah.
And we started getting more viewers after that.
Yeah.
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 And then you started calling me more after that, talking about you wanted to come on the podcast. And I was still a bit reluctant because I'd never heard you do anything radio related. So,
Right.
yeah,
You make me sound like I pested.
a bit.
Right. You're a douche. But here we are now.
Here we are now. And I actually love you on the podcast, man. Like, yeah, you've brought a good vibe
So
to
where
the
are
show.
we now?
We are on the David Kazadi. What do you mean, where we like on the review, or where are we as a podcast?
With you and I.
We're in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are in a good place. I like what we've turned this podcast into, and I like where it's going because, like a lot of, like I think you see this a lot in the comments where people
Right.
talk about good cop, bad cop. I'm sort of the good cop. You're sort of the bad. Not sort of. You are definitely the bad cop.
I'll tell you where
Kinda.
that comes from.
Yeah, I think explain because people want to know
It's
now.
sexual frustration. Because if you're a nerd, it is. No, but why are you laughing at my pain though? Because if you're a nerd, you don't get. It's different. We are like polar opposites. Because if you're a DJ,
Yeah.
you're very popular with the chicks, right? You get more ass than a toilet seat. You like that, huh? Right. Right.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, was just me in my hand.
Pamela Henderson.
Right? So yeah, that's just
Yeah.
that's basically what it is.
I hope the mics didn't catch what Switcher just said.
That's pretty good. I'll give you another one. You get more butt than an ashtray. She likes that. I haven't seen a smile since I got here. Is that your girlfriend, Lloyd? She's hot. How did you score that?
Are you trying to say Lloyd doesn't have game?
Say again.
Are you saying Lloyd doesn't have game?
I don't know. He doesn't seem to me to be somebody that has game. Damn, bruh. That comes with his perks, doesn't it?
We're still dissecting the Mutalemwanza episode,
Yeah.
and some of the comments were, "This content deserves to be on Zambezi Magic. You guys are awesome fun. Bring her back."
But she's on
And then there was a lot of heat against Mutalemwanza. There was remember there was Joshua Kapila who said, "Obupulafye, why be famous for wrong reasons? And this is the type of role model for our girl child. Really? You know what I mean? Character is more important than personality. Good luck to the man in her life. Kuko Safye.
Joshua.
Otherwise, people love to interview and her as well." Same person saying that. That was
Did she
Joshua.
speak about who she's dating?
She just said I'm dating, but she did not mention the name.
Why
and
not?
I
You
asked
didn't
her,
press her for that?
dude, it's a closely guarded secret. I think she also mentioned she likes it when people think she's not dating. So a lot
So
of
that she
drama,
gets more guys?
not necessarily. So that when she, sort of brings out her drama, people are left wondering, like, can a woman with a man in her life behave this way?
Okay.
But she explained also in the episode. You have to go back to the episode. You haven't seen that episode, though. And after Mutale, we had the PR Girls. Now, here's a secret about the PR Girls episode. Before we get to the episode where you finally come in. The PR Girls episode was actually done 2 years ago now, yeah? We recorded that,
God damn it.
that truck, though. We recorded that episode 2 years ago. And it's one of those, we're planning on doing a different podcast. I was going to call it They've Made It in Life. And if you notice on that episode, we don't mention that Zed podcast at all. We're going to call it They've Made It in Life and bring on people who have achieved, certain things in their lives. And that's what the podcast was going to be about. So we recorded that I didn't like it, so we shelved it for 2 years until last year, November. We thought, you know what? Let's include it.
Yeah.
F it, let's include it.
Right.
So we had the pair of girls, and some of the reviews, some of the comments we had, well, let's just say they received enough love.
Yeah.
There was enough love. People didn't know about how, they prepare themselves for events, things like that. And yeah, I'll let you dissect the David Kazadi one.
So, I did not freaking pester you. In fact, you would call me half the time. This nigga here. Anyway, so you call me up and you say we are shooting David Kazadi.
Yeah.
And I say, what the f is that? It's like, the guy that did the Divorce Club and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I begin doing my research, and I literally started watching the Divorce Club the night before we shot David. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. I was honestly expecting like a Harvey Weinstein kind of looking guy.
Yeah.
You know Harvey Weinstein, right?
Yeah. Chubby, big beard.
Yeah.
Movie producer in
Right,
Hollywood.
so in my mind,
the Weinstein Company. Yeah.
So in my mind, that's who I was expecting, and he comes through. Pretty cool guy. Has the accent, the real one, not.
I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not
The
hungry.
interview was pretty dope. I liked it. I was still very chilled
You were
because
extremely quiet in that episode.
I was finding my feet, fam.
You are like a backing vocalist on a 70s band.
No, but
all
you know
were
what
doing
it
was
is. No, but you know what it is. David talks.
Yeah.
You would swear. You would think David does tongue push-ups. He talks a lot, right? So it gives very little room for you to say anything. And again, it wasn't about me. It still isn't about me. It's about the guest, right? Of which that's what we're gonna try and change in the next
On that episode,
season.
we have you like this, staring at me and staring at David Kazadi.
Because between the two of you guys,
there was a lot of talk.
I don't know who talks faster or who talks the most.
Yeah, we
So I was sitting there looking like chopped liver. But yeah, I thought that was pretty dope. I thought that I liked.
And the thing that trended about that, and I think made it trend, was how people started creating memes of it
Yes.
and off it.
Yeah.
There was, are you dizzy, bruv?
Yeah, there was that.
That sentence, I think when we published that episode, it was we published on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And by midnight, I think there were like already a lot of memes.
Like a whole bunch of memes
TikTok.
off TikTok, yeah.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
And I remember, Abby, are you dizzy, bruv? She was laughing at that though. David, she laughed at that for a week. And every time she answered the phone, Abby, Switcher, every time they answered the phone, it's, are you dizzy, bruv? The British accent made love to people's minds that week, man.
Yeah.
good
But
one.
he's a pretty cool guy. Gave us a lot of gems right after the podcast in terms of how to monetize this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
True. And 90% of the comments were chicks drooling over his British accent.
Did I
or should
tell
I say
you-
British accent?
Oh, let me tell you, speaking of chicks drooling,
Yeah.
I had this chick. Have you ever been eyeing a girl for so long?
Yeah.
And then she finally texts you?
Yeah.
And you immediately begin to pray to your ancestors like, thank you. And then this chick says, I saw you with David Kazadi, can you hook me up? I'm like,
No way.
I promise you. I said, you know what? He's actually on my way to my house. Buela, come. He's coming.
That's worse than being friend zoned, though.
Hey, bruh.
You become a wingman to a chick you're trying to hook up with.
Blocked her.
Serious.
I did.
You can look
She
in
knows who
You can
you
look
know
at-
who you are.
You can look into the camera now and have a
Yeah, but you broke my heart.
in many places, many pieces.
Yeah. And ever since then, I started liking David a little less. No, but he's a cool guy. I like.
Like to hell with you on the Divorce Club.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool guy.
You and your accent.
Are you dizzy, bruv?
Yeah.
That trended like crazy, man. And some of the comments that came through.
Let me actually try and open up the David Kazadi. Yeah, but go ahead.
I remember one of the first comments that came through was from Lydia Sakala, because remember I mentioned, David, you left the UK to come to the third world. Remember I said that, yeah?
Yeah, I remember.
And she says, first of all, K+, you saying third world makes you sound rather backward. Don't people say third world anymore?
Let me tell you something.
Or we say what, developing country?
Let me tell you something. When you are gonna get a lot of success, people are going to hate on every tiny little thing that you do. So
Yeah,
you
true.
might drink water and you swallow it loud enough, people are gonna hate on that.
If you went on a mission to kill every fly on the planet, you still end up with haters. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You're not even using those flies anyway,
No.
but still people are gonna hate.
Yeah, pretty interesting comments. on,
Haters gonna hate, potatoes will potate. We proceed. I'm not hating on Lydia Sakala, though. I'm just saying that was a comment she made. And John Musulwe said the moment he said he sold for about 3 point something million from a budget of 1 million, I knew what he was going to say next. At surface level, it seems like a profit or like it is a lot, but it's not. But all in all, Black Dollar's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. Oh yeah, let's just a plug for David Kazadi. Black Dollar's on what? He said what, Showmax?
Yeah, on Showmax.
Yeah, you can check out David.
I still haven't seen that yet.
I still haven't seen it though.
Oh, you haven't too, right?
I haven't, man. Like, I've been trying to use IB's credentials to log into.
And I am pretty sure by now, because he kept referring to a certain channel as the X channel.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows what the X channel is now.
Just because I didn't put my content on X channel.
Well, should we say what X channel is?
Nah, just leave it, man. Let it hang. And then after David Kazadi, we did Bowman.
A lot
of people have been calling saying we got Bowman arrested. We didn't get Bowman arrested.
No, we didn't.
We asked him the value of the house.
Yes, and he told us the value of his house. And I asked him, so this 3 million, did it come from Cash Crusaders? And how much overtime was that? Yeah, because I wanted to know. I want a house like that as well. So I need inspiration, innit? And another fun fact.
Yeah.
We did not call Bowman. We didn't go looking for him.
Yeah. There's a team that, made a few calls to us. And, and he called us to his house.
He called us to his house.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope. He's got a beautiful house. I'll tell you that.
The house, man.
He has
floating. The floating bar. Yo!
Sure!
I've never seen anything like that anywhere. Not at a high-class hotel.
In fact, in the bar as well as an office. You remember that, right?
A floating office. And by floating, we mean the whole thing is a glass
cube. The floor as well.
You can see fish swimming under.
It's glass.
Yeah.
It's transparent.
Man, I was mind blown. That house made love to my mind, bro.
Man.
I wish I could live in such a house.
If I had a house like that, everybody would know about that.
If I was a rich man.
So yeah, Bowman was pretty interesting because he opened up. He did not hold back on anything.
Yeah.
He opened up, and it seems because of that, and again, this will tie into the Iris episode.
Mm-hmm.
I feed off energy, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not going to be stuck up, if you're not going to be offish with me, if you're not going to dictate what I can or can't ask you, we're gonna get along.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Bowman didn't tell us.
He didn't.
Bowman didn't ask for his script.
He didn't.
He didn't ask us what not. He didn't tell us what not to tell. Not to ask him.
He came. He greets everybody. He says, "Where do I sit?" I'm like, "You sit there right there, my man."
Question one.
Yeah, and question one, and everything went like just flowed.
The David Kazadi one, you were more like finding yourself.
Right.
You were very in the background. Then on the Bowman episode, you sort of open up. It's like you find yourself and like, okay, you know what? I'm actually here. I'm present and I can do this. Yeah.
Part of that is because I already knew Bowman prior to that.
Oh yeah. You guys had a little chat before the episode. I remember that much. Yeah.
Not a chat. We had a.
No, I mean like I could tell from the chat you guys had before the episode that there was a bit of background to the.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty interesting.
This is when people discovered your sense of humor.
Do I have one?
Your lack of humor is where your humor lies.
Right.
It's sort of your strength.
I've got a dry sense of humor.
It's called sarcasm, bruv.
Is that what it's called?
It's called sarcasm in your case. In your case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because on the Bowman one is where you started,
I don't say it. I know exactly what you want to say.
Okay, let me say something else. On the Bowman one is where Elson sort of came out. You know what I mean? You would actually throw sarcastic questions at Bowman, which he wouldn't pick up.
I was about to say I don't think he caught half that I say.
That's what I'm saying. Like he would throw a lot of
even
bombs
the whole cookies thing.
Dude, don't bring that up anymore.
I don't know if he caught that, but I saw in the comments 1 or 2 people caught that.
If you haven't seen the Bowman episode, please catch the part where Elson talks about cookies because he brought up the cookie issue, and I was thinking, okay, he's gonna chase it out of the house at that point, and he didn't.
He didn't.
Yeah, I think if you look at my face, the moment you ask the cookie question, I looked down, and it's clear in the video. I looked down. I was thinking, okay,
did you?
He's about to chase us. I didn't want to look at him because it's gonna be obvious, like.
Yeah, and I don't think he caught it because if he did, he was like, out.
Exactly. That's why I just looked down. I was like, oh shit, we're leaving this house now, and it's gonna. Anyway, so some of the comments that came through, this is where people quote you human. People started saying, please give Elson more time to ask questions. He asks tough questions. You make the interviews interesting and engaging while Elson provokes the interviews. Very interesting. And somebody This is I'm Just Deaf says Edgar hasn't started stealing cookies in the house. LMAO. I saw what you did there.
That's the guy that caught it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaluba Champo says K Plus. I was watching this with the producer's eye. I love the format of the podcast. This was about researching guests, and there was Louis Calaba. Awesome. This is how interviews should be. There was a lot of real life issues. There was a lot of laughter. The Bowman episode had a lot of comments.
One thing that I liked, the comments that kept popping up on the Bowman interview is how people kept saying, I've never seen this side of Bowman. Did you pick that up as well?
I think we brought out the human side of Bowman.
Right.
Yeah.
And which is exactly what my intention was right from the get. And in me asking them the crazy questions as well is because if you don't, it'll seem like, but you didn't go hard on this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who do we go for after Bowman? Dude, a number of comments on the Bowman episode. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't even get through this fast enough.
Quite a lot. Love the interview. I'm gonna try and skip the ones that. So Natalie Kangwa said, thoroughly enjoyed it. I like how you guys are humanizing people, asking questions that make them more relatable once they drop their titles. There's another person that comments quite a lot. Katasi. Is that how
I think it's Katasi, yeah.
Yeah, Ndanji. Every single episode. In fact, I'm more inclined to give her the room at the Hilton. Do you have a boyfriend?
For herself.
Yeah, well,
Katasi.
she has a boyfriend. Yeah.
Do you have a boyfriend? After Bowman, we had K-Star. That was filled with a lot of humor. That was lit.
Yes.
Yeah, K-Star was lit. We spoke about Jane, the ex.
Yeah, and that is actually where some of the interesting sponsorships began coming in.
We made our first money from K-Star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spen came through with Access Bank.
Big shout out to K-Star and Spen. Oh, guys.
And Walia.
We made our first money from Spen, and
Yeah.
I was drinking to that.
They literally asked us, how much do you want? And we're like,
We can say?
no, we can't say how much we want, but you and I had no clue. You know what I mean?
We didn't know how much to charge them, but they paid what we wanted.
They paid what we wanted.
Yeah, exactly what we wanted. So,
yeah,
hey,
that was pretty dope.
you remember you can still advertise on this show, and please pay what we want.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. After K-Star, we had the one that gave you a headache, man. The one that pissed you off the most. Iris Kayingo.
So let me start. Just lower it down a little, my man.
Switcher. You're making noise.
So it starts off with Iris saying, let's have a pre-shoot meeting.
We met 2 weeks before the interview. Yeah, I remember that much. Yeah.
Right off the bat, and I'm like, what kind of diva shit is this? So we go there, and she says, give me the list of the questions that you're going to ask me. Right? And did we submit the questions then?
No. It also took us about a week.
Right. And so she then says, as we were leaving, I want you guys to also ask me the following. And so
climate change.
Yeah. And so off the bat, I'm because you're controlling the narrative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want this to be a conversation. You know what I mean? Like, you and I sit. Let's chop it up.
Yeah. So
my energy was way off.
And a lot of people attacked you for dwelling so much on the sex tape. But what a lot of people didn't get about the Iris episode is that she actually, for context's sake, she actually mentioned it was okay for us to start with the sex tape.
So a couple of things.
Yeah.
And I'm going to explain this, all right? So Iris is a very, very smart person, right? And she has a lot that she wanted to bring out. And so I told her this after the interview. I said, I need you to trust me on this. So we wanted to bring out the scandal, the sex tape, like right early on.
Yeah.
And close off with who she is as a person, her ambition, etc. So the whole sex tape thing is what I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would have wanted to know about. And that's why we started with that. That's the first thing. The second is Iris had footage of this. So she had the interview before it aired.
Before anybody watched that, Iris watched her episode before I did.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And she okayed it.
Yeah. She could have said, no, take out the sex tape issue.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't understand about people that then got offended on behalf of Iris when her herself said, I'm cool with it, flight it.
Who, the following morning, when we published the episode, called Sorry, she texted me saying, I'm loving what people are saying about this episode. But later that day, there was a post from Mwandi MP where Iris stood. The new MP, what's her name again?
Defending her.
She had a lot to say about our interview with Iris. What? Guys, what's the Mwandi MP? What's her name again? I can't even remember what her name is, man. But she said, no one should bring Iris Kaingu to talk about her sex tape 10 years down the line. I think it's very disrespectful. I don't even know the name of the guy she made the sex tape with. I'm sure he married a virgin. This is the Mwandi MP. She is a strong girl. Let's give her a break. Yes, I will stand for her because remember, she's from Mwandi and I am her MP and I am her big sister. Madam MP, with all due respect, Iris saw the episode before any of us did. She could have had the sex tape issue taken out, but she didn't. Basically, what we're saying is the sex tape issue came in to give the rest of the interview context.
That's it.
Basically, Iris' story is one of turning tragedy into triumph.
Right.
Without the sex tape, would anyone have known who Iris is?
And why didn't anybody come to Bowman's defense saying, why are you asking about the babies and the DNA when he's spoken about it a million times? Give it a rest.
Iris said, you know what, let's give this interview context. Everything she's done today stems from that.
Absolutely.
The whole world knew about Iris that day.
In fact.
Yeah.
Where's my phone at? Martin, may I have my phone, please?
Maybe if we hear it from Iris's mouth.
Yeah.
Let's call her.
Because there's no way we can keep talking about Iris
when she can speak for herself.
When she can speak for herself. Yeah. Very beautiful voice too. Ooh, good Lord, I got a ton load of messages.
People you owe money? Or girls sliding into your DM.
So let's try and call Iris, figure out what she thought about this. There was a guy that posted on Twitter and he said, I've got $100 for anybody who can give me Iris's phone number.
Oh, that's where the $100 issue came from. You just put it straight into the mic on top like that. Yeah, I bet I can hear you now, yeah. A little closer to the mic. Yeah.
Oh, this is actually where the speaker is.
Oh, then the two speakers there. I hope she picks up though.
No, I spoke to her earlier. She said she had been driving.
And
I'll try and call her back a little later.
She must have parked her ginger.
Yeah, but anyway, I'll try and ring her back a little later. So yeah, the Iris interview, I said right off the bat that my energy was off, based off what I've just mentioned. Yeah, my energy had been way off. Her
trying to control where the conversation is going to go.
You can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. So that to me just threw me off. Great person though.
Great person. And I think I actually fell more in love with her as a person after the interview because...
You and I both. I also fell in love with Bowman's personality.
Yeah.
Right? And so that when the whole him being rated thing, I actually felt bad personally.
You actually make a lot of assumptions about a person until you talk to them.
Until you speak to them, right?
Yeah. So that day we spoke to Iris, I think a lot of the comments that came through, even when she texted, she said, I can't believe people used to think this about me. And after the interview, now they know me and they see me differently. Yeah. Thanks a lot, you guys. She actually said thanks for bringing her on that Zed podcast.
One guy, so two other points. One guy said to me, Kalenga, you need to remove this guy off the podcast. Well, you remember that.
A lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of people called me after the Iris episode saying Elson is not a perfect fit for the podcast. Take him off.
Well, newsflash.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
No, it's not happening, bruv. Come on.
Because this is now a partnership.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and the other thing as well is I say to this guy, this in hindsight, this could have been a little rude, is Mercy said, Elson is a misogynist. Blah, 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 blah. And my response, which I then did, and she had 71 likes. 71 people. Yeah.
A lot of people saw that.
And my response to that, which Abby told me not to, is I say, listen, if you don't like the questions that I ask, then tune into ZMBC because they ask the cute and fluffy questions. I was like, no, it's not necessary. So then I took that out.
We'll leave it at that. So anything else you want to bring out about that? I think on the Iris episode, okay, you were a bit hard on her in the first few minutes.
Yeah, I feel like I was.
Yeah, you were. In hindsight, when you look at the episode, I think you feel that.
Yeah, I feel I was. I could have handled that a lot better. Yeah.
After Iris, we interviewed Slap D. Because I might be quoted out of context.
Slap, before we actually did Slap, I'm a fan of his music. So I was actually very excited about Slap.
Yeah.
I didn't need to prep for this.
The Slap D episode was a fun episode as well, yeah, I remember.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And again, I'm going to. Abby kept telling me not to say this, so we shot the slap interview.
Oh,
And
yeah,
no, I'm not gonna say much, right?
yeah.
And everybody that knows this they know, like the fans of the podcast, they know that we air our episodes every Tuesday at 3
p.m. 15
Right.
hours, yeah, every Tuesday. Yeah.
on the same day. Was it the same day or the day before? Slap calls and it says,
Hold up.
There's some
Don't
shit
broadcast that episode.
that is in there that I don't want in there.
Yeah.
And sadly, those questions were asked by yours truly. I'm the one that asked those, right? So I was like, wait, don't flight that. I need
Yeah.
some shit taken out. So literally on the day that we were meant to air that, we had to stop because it had to be taken out. And did we get a new asshole torn into our backs?
Dude, people insulted our mothers,
our fathers, our ancestors. Yo, people were like, when
Well,
it
wait.
went live, people
Yeah.
were like, we're no longer interested. Watch it with your own families. That's when we realized this thing is now beyond us.
Yeah.
This is not our podcast anymore.
People were so upset that the Slap D episode didn't come on Tuesday, 15 hours that day.
Yeah.
I was driving, and I remember calling Lloyd, saying, Lloyd, we have to edit this further because there's some things in that episode which, he's our brother, and we have to look out for him.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, absolutely.
Yeah, and there are some things he said which he...
In hindsight,
yeah,
could have been extremely controversial.
exactly. So we had those removed. And
Yeah,
he's
so
our-
we're
he's our
good
brother.
people. And
Much love, much respect to the brother.
And like Martin, because Martin calls me Dr. Evil. I've got a heart. Right?
Yeah. You do?
Yeah.
So we move on to the Slap D. Well, we spoke about the Slap D episode.
Yeah.
Jimmy K, the controversy though.
Ooh.
Do not get married if you're broke.
Which I don't agree with.
Okay.
Number one, because I'm broke. Right?
Yeah, right.
That's the first thing. The second thing, well, I really don't. I've got nothing against marriage. I'm 36 now. I've never really thought about it.
Yeah.
In fact, only one girl has made me think about marriage.
Yeah. And
I wasn't
she
se-
dumped you.
Did she talk?
Or you
she-
dumped her.
It ended.
We'll
Very
leave it-
mutual.
We'll leave it at that.
Very mutual.
Yeah.
But I'm single again. But yeah.
Oh, what?
Fam, my hands has got
Third time he's
blisters
mentioned
now. My hand has blisters now.
Pamela Henderson.
God damn it. But yeah, the Jimmy K interview was very interesting.
The Jimmy K.
Firstly, so again, I didn't know who this guy was.
Yeah.
And initially we started speaking about we need a pastor, so I didn't know which one was coming through. So I'm chilling at the venue. You had left. So this nigga here before the Jimmy K interview, just like the Iris, what you don't know is this guy's such a diva. With the Iris interview, switch out what you don't know is this guy says to me, hey bro, if you're gonna go to Woolworths, do you mind buying me a white golf t-shirt? The one that hugs my muscles. And I'm like, what the hell?
I said that.
Yes, the hell you said that.
Negro, please.
What? Are you gonna sit here and deny that you asked for a white golf t-shirt? Sorry, V-neck.
It was the water I was drinking
Right.
that day.
And so anyway, on the Jimmy K interview,
It kills memory cells, yeah.
this guy had left again to go and powder his face. And so
Speaking of which, pass me the towel. Speaking of which, pass me the towel. Yeah, you were saying?
Yeah. So, Switcher, let me tell you this, bruh. I've never seen a BMW like that.
Oh, Jimmy
It pulls
K.
up. And in my mind, I'm like, this is either a Jeroboam, a politician, or a drug dealer. And this nigga hops out and is wearing like a 3-piece suit. And I'm like, And here I am in the shoes that I'm wearing now. And the guy comes through and he introduces himself. I was like, I remember you from the Iris interview. I'm like, oh Lord. Because that was like my lowest point. So
Yeah.
for him to refer to me like, I remember you from the Iris interview.
you know what
But, yeah, but I'll tell you that his energy was correct. His
It was
energy
on
was
point,
great.
man. It was on point, yeah.
Awesome guy. The actual interview in itself it flowed.
Yeah.
I didn't need questions.
No, much of what I prepared, I didn't even touch on.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything. It was very conversational.
Yeah. And that was
Which
the
is what I
idea.
hoped the Iris interview would have been like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved his energy.
Iris was-
And again, I know I'm talking a lot.
It's a good thing. It's a
Fun
talk show.
fact
Yeah.
is
Why am I scared all of a sudden?
we've had 2 guests that have had a request to have certain things removed.
Yeah.
Those two guests are Jimmy K and Sleb D. Here's another fun fact. The questions that led to the answers that they wanted removed were exactly the same.
Oh, for the two guests, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, come think
They
of
were
it. Yeah.
exactly the same questions. They answered them truthfully, but then those answers, we're going to lend them in.
Everywhere.
And sadly, both questions came from me. Both questions came from me.
Oh, the other fun fact about the Iris episode, I think I mentioned this when the episode was starting. I had to buy a pillow on the way to the Iris interview because
For ass.
For ass. She was so comfortable.
Yeah.
And that's another issue that people raised on Twitter. Twitter
Right.
though. And then on the Slap D episode,
Oh,
Twitter
we
came
forgot
raining.
about my man.
Twitter came raining down on you because you called people on Twitter
Cesspool of idiots.
a cesspool of idiots.
Did you see those tweets?
Before we even come to that, Twitter rained on you again because, no, on both of us, because they were saying we were objectifying Iris by talking about her behind. She liked it. She laughed. She took it as a compliment.
Again,
And I
it
said,
goes back-
Iris, you've got a thick behind. What do you need a pillow for?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what?
It goes back to the point that how can you be offended on someone else's behalf?
Who's not offended?
Do you get what I mean?
Who's not offended by that statement?
Yeah. So if you're going to talk about my nose
Yeah.
and I'm okay with it,
Why are you going to be offended on my behalf?
who is anybody else going to be offended on behalf of my nose? Are you a nose brigade?
People on Twitter,
Nah, I don't get it.
people on Twitter, I remember threw a rant over that because they were saying we're objectifying her. You know, it got me thinking about this word objectifying, which has become quite a big word. I was actually hearing that word last week as well, where people talking about you love objectifying women on your show and whatever. But I'm like, look, if I compliment you over something on your body, how am I objectifying you if you love the compliment?
Again, I feel like objectifying.
It's a bit of a strong word.
Which word?
Objectifying.
It is. But then again, I
Yeah.
feel like it depends with who the comment is coming from.
How has the recipient taken it?
That's it.
If the recipient is okay with it and they
Then-
don't feel objectified, why should you feel objectified on their behalf?
Look, I have given up on trying to understand people
Yeah.
and how they think. She does have a nice ass.
Let's give it to her. Moving on. The last episode we had, after Jimmy K. KB, there was tension between you and KB, though. There was tension between you and KB.
I picked that up.
You could cut it with a knife from, I think, the 5th minute of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a bit of tension between you and KB because
Yeah.
of... You were just forthright with him, and you would talk about... I think he asked you a question about his arrogance. I think that's where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
He asked if he was arrogant.
And I said yes.
I said no, because I've never had that vibe from him before.
Speaking of arrogance, sorry
Yeah.
to cut you off.
Yeah.
I asked Bowman the exact same question. Do you remember?
And he giggled.
Where I said, why are you arrogant? Then he came to you and was like, am I arrogant? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So, and he was cool with it.
Yeah.
And so why the hell then would somebody else with the exact same question
Yeah.
then get offended? I don't know, man.
Abby!
Come through. Why?
You don't. She's saying she doesn't want to be on camera. Why? Is it because we're black?
What?
Huh? Is it because we're black?
Do you owe somebody money?
And now people think she's white.
Do you owe somebody money?
And
Abby.
And if she's, I was ready to sing one song. If she refused to come on, it could have meant she's working on another podcast. And I was gonna say, these ain't loyal. Abby, how's it been working with two? How would you describe ourselves? Not arrogant. What are we? Well, just tough guys to work with, huh?
I think so.
We know what we want and where we want to take this. So
Difficult to work with at times.
yeah,
We don't listen.
we don't listen. Yeah, but how's it been producing this show? You've been scripting every episode from episode 1.
Some of
You've
those
been,
questions.
You've been finding our venues. You've been preparing our questions and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, when we met, I felt like it was easy working
Yeah.
with you because we sort of like had the same idea from the beginning, and
Yeah.
it was like, oh, man, I've been thinking that too. Oh
Hey,
no,
let's do
yeah. So it was, our energies were in sync, And sometimes as a producer, you guys don't have a script.
Yeah.
And conversations grow legs.
Yeah.
And you can't control some of the things you say. It's easier for you because you have been in media. Elson is new to this.
Yeah.
He's just an enthusiast. He listens to all these things and,
Yeah.
Well, what's happening? My mic is not on. You're looking at me like...
Just talk straight into the mic. Talk straight into the mic, yeah.
Okay, so it's difficult to then now try and bring both of you guys in. Like, okay, so have a bit of control, but still no control, but a bit of control. So it's amazing, but you guys are difficult to deal with. So, yeah.
Easy is boring.
What do you mean?
A normal life is boring, so you're welcome. We'll give you something to do and something to write home about, innit?
Yeah, no, but...
so which has been your your favorite episode?
Oh, my favorite episode...
Yeah. From preparation to closing of the episode.
I think David Kazadi, eh?
Oh, you did
You did it, bro. So for me, I think having David Kazadi and just how well-spoken he is in it. Yeah, so for me it was amazing having him on the pod, and I think what he brought out was very important as well.
We all learned something, yeah.
Yeah.
And we only started making money after
David Kazadi,
bro. How to make money.
He dropped gems for us. So shout out David Kazadi.
Yeah.
Boo, 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 boo. I think Lloyd should add one of those things in one of the episodes.
No.
No?
We're buying the equipment for that coming soon.
So this is the last episode of this season. Expect a lot more international guests.
Yes.
We've got pretty interesting guests lined up. One of the most controversial guests or radio personalities or podcasters from South Africa
will be coming on.
So
our signature is no longer going to be Zambian conversations worth having. It's just going to be conversations worth having. Yeah, but it's still going to be that podcast.
And those people that really were like, no, K Plus, get rid of Elson. You're stuck. Men's ain't going nowhere.
All right, that's the podcast for the next episode.
Deuces.
Have a lovely day.
Deuces.
That Zed Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. We talk to Zambian movers and shakers, the change makers, the achievers. We also discuss interesting topics. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, That Zed Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Listen to That Zed Podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Anchor. That Zed Podcast. Zambian conversations worth having. Hosted by K Plus.
It's K Plus, baby.